pledge allegiance to the flag
Indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, as to the roll.
As to the Inglewood City Council, Inglewood Successor Agency, Inglewood Housing Authority, Inglewood Finance Authority, and Inglewood Parking Authority, a quorum is present.
Thank you. Agenda item number P1. Are there any public comments regarding agenda items, please?
Absolutely, council members. I got to tell you, it's funny to me every once in a while when I mention something and everybody makes a face like, oh, she's not telling the truth. And then it shows up a few months later, and yes, it was what I thought. That nice little building over here, the former, what is it, African American Network of Achievers. Yeah, you did purchase it. Yeah, you did. You didn't discuss it with us. Don't have any idea what it is. You're just going to throw it right out there, clickety-split, as if it's a no-mention item. And then I'm also going to say, once again, Inglewood Today is on the agenda packet, and I find that a little bit frustrating because he doesn't really cover the news that is real news. It's just the news that favors you. But while we're talking about that, let's say that I also find it abhorrent that some of those ads that you've been putting out there, I don't know which of your public relations persons are doing it, but it's always wrong to encourage one neighbor to suggest that it's okay to take another neighbor's home by eminent domain. That's always wrong. That's sinking to a new, all-time, you gotta be kidding low. A lot like when Hitler said, what can we do to make you do something bad to the other guy in that cute little box?
Good afternoon, City Council. My name is Larry Springs. I'm a longtime resident, over 40 years here in the city of Inglewood. And the reason I'm here for this meeting this afternoon is I'm asking the voters of the city of Inglewood to actually look at a possibility of increasing the salary of our mayor and our city council. Now, let me tell you a little story real quickly.
Excuse me, sir. These are for
This is
agenda
agenda item
items.
number warrants and bills.
I would have to say that doesn't fall under there. If you could wait until the end, you'll be able to speak.
I only have 2 minutes on that, and what I have to say is going to last longer than 2 minutes. So if you allow me to speak,
I don't
Mr.
think that it would qualify. You're welcome to come back at a different item, different day. Mr. Springs, we appreciate what you're trying to do, but for today, I'm not going to allow it at this time. Thank you. Come on forward.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chris Sean. I'm the youth organizer for the Uplift Inglewood Coalition. I'm here to speak on consent calendar item number 5. The resolution for the Inglewood Housing Trust Fund is a step in the right direction that we have been advocating for, but it's not nearly enough. We want to see homes before arenas, and for you to truly prioritize housing for our current workforce and investment in our community. In the midst of our current housing and homeless crisis, the best use of our public land is housing and not another sports arena. And before my time is up, I would like to know if I could pass these out to you all.
Give them to the Sergeant at Arms before you step away.
So those packages are studies that we created. These studies are development studies, and it's what we, the community of Inglewood, would like to see within our vision. We can house an Inglewood youth center on Prairie for those of our youth and scholastic programs who want to engage in sports and physical activities. We envision development that will create a senior center for our elderly population, properly house and tend to their needs, along with a daycare children's center to look after our children to provide them with safe and enriching space. Our community would benefit greatly from a creative arts center with an art gallery and individual studio to provide for our local arts in need of creative spaces. An environmental studies community center that allows for members of our community to properly address and collaborate on issues of active transportation, green space, and even environmental and safety concerns in our community. A strong, long-lasting investment would be to create a financial literacy center that would directly impact the residents looking to secure their families' futures by teaching them how to handle money, to save, invest, and create wealth, as well as include a small business incubator center so that Inglewood will be able to create sustainable, profitable businesses that are started by the members of our community. Finally, we envision an Inglewood where we have flexible office space and public arts that only promote safe, flexible, and inviting public and private spaces. We want the people who work here to have lasting infrastructures that will allow us to take pride in our city. Our vision for Uplift Inglewood is to house our champions, not to push them out. Residents here have battled to make Inglewood what it is today and deserve the right to stay. The Clippers Arena should not be put above the housing, health, and development needs of Inglewood residents. That's why we demand the city to prioritize homes before arenas so that long-term residents and future generations can continue to call Inglewood home. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Morning, my name's Kathy Deppie, and I'm here as part of the Uplift Inglewood Coalition to speak on the consent calendar item number 5. In a recent CBS interview, Mayor Butts claimed there's no indigenous
Sorry, ma'am.
opposition.
What item is it that you're focused on for the agenda?
Item number 5. Mayor Butts claimed there's no indigenous opposition to the proposed Clippers Arena. But Uplift Inglewood Coalition is the indigenous opposition to the deal, and the Inglewood Housing Trust Fund is a direct acknowledgement of our advocacy for home and not for arenas. We'd like to offer our official opposition to SB 789 for the record. Mayor Butt's statement is false, and it dismisses the many Inglewood residents who are fighting to make sure that the construction of the Clippers Arena prioritizes the interests of our community over the bottom line of private companies. The Uplift Inglewood Coalition is a group of local residents, businesses, faith groups, and community organizations. I myself am from Holy Faith Episcopal Church here in Inglewood. We are not outsiders or competitors. We're working together to ensure that the vision of Inglewood's future includes and benefits everyone. The coalition is critical of the current draft of SB 789 by bypassing the California Environmental Quality Act and the environmental review. This is not good for the community. This risks the health and safety of all of us. The bill also imperils our local businesses and offers them no protection from eminent domain and threatening community-centered development in Inglewood. Any legislation that does not mandate full CEQA compliance and environmental impact reports places the Inglewood community at risk. We need these safeguards in place to ensure that the future of the city of Inglewood is community-driven at a sustainable pace. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Morning, City Council staff. Renal Davis, 2nd District. I'm here to speak on item number 5. And this is something really huge. The mayor's not here, so Mr. Fields, big one. And I'm depending on you to have really done the due diligence on this. I was able to copy the both documents, Resolution 17 and the actual resolution. And for me, the sentence that says it all is several cities throughout the state have established housing trust funds to address affordable housing issues. And goes on to say that this policy will be adapted for existing current residents. That has to be made clear for me. And we need to put closure to it. Not be just another bloated bureaucracy that goes on and on and on and on and on. No, that's not what it should be established for. I'm in a good mood, so I say that it should be 5 years maximum. In fact, I would suggest there should be a citizens committee. I'm volunteering, Councilman Padilla, to be on that committee. I'm a 30-year homeowner, and I have rental property in Inglewood. I believe in being fair and commonsensical, but we don't live in a socialist state. And cliches have been battered around for years, fixed income, et cetera, et cetera. Well, we have folks who come to this council meeting that are on fixed income and healthy as horses. You know how to game the system? You can game the system. And that's the other thing, is that we can't allow landlords or recipients to game us. We got good hearts, we know that. No one needs to wag their fingers in our faces. But not here to be played either. So we really have to choose and think wisely on this one. Again, I'm at your service. I'll join your committee tomorrow, Councilman Padilla. Thank you very much for your time.
My name is Willie A.G. I live in the beautiful city of Inglewood. I want to speak on item number 5. What would Inglewood look like today if it wasn't for the farm, Hollywood Park development? I think we'd be bankrupt. Only thing we'd have here was poor people. The only way to get rid of poor people is bring businesses, jobs here, and let them go to work instead of sitting at home every day, waiting for somebody else to take care of them. SB 789, I support it 100%. Because it's going to bring jobs here for these so-called poor people. My opinion. Nobody ever given me anything. You know, people need to get out and earn their way. I think that if you bring the jobs here and the poor people want to work, they'll get up and go out there and get the jobs, and they won't be poor no more. You can afford to live in your own neighborhood. So I support SB 789 100%. Thank you guys very, very much.
Close the public comments portion.
Good afternoon. My name is Melvin Howard, and I've been here before, and I'm not going to stop coming. I hear this gentleman talking about poor people. The few jobs that this you all will bring into this community called Inglewood, building a stadium for the Clippers. When they finish building it, the jobs will leave.
Ma'am,
Yes.
what item are you speaking about?
Oh, whatever he was speaking on, 5. That's good. And but see, I don't like people talking down about people, and that was very demeaning. People are poor, yes, but it's not because they don't want to work. There is no jobs. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna sit down in a minute. Just give me a little while.
But no, ma'am, you really have to connect your comments to the actual item.
Well, SB, Senate Bill 789 is a detriment because you're fixing to mess up our environment. Our environment is more important to this community, to us, our children. than a forum or the Clipper Stadium. It's more important. And with the way that you all are, they want to proceed, it is going to destroy the environment that we right now have decent one. And we can breathe. I can't do too much, but we can breathe and be productive. But we must not get caught up on jobs, because it's not going to happen. It'll work for until the building is finished. And then when the building is finished, there are no more jobs.
Thank you.
And that's the bottom line. And don't talk about people.
1 second, please, ma'am. No, sir, go ahead if you have a comment.
Alfonso Parker Jr., Vietnam veteran, 6667, conscious objector. I don't own property in Inglewood, but I've been here whoever the hell you are. Anyway, I love Inglewood even though I don't own property.
Sir,
I'll say.
can you identify your item you're talking about?
Senate Bill, what was that? Senate?
No, that's not on the agenda. They attached it to an item, and thank you. We won't need your input, Mr.
See,
Brown.
because you're speaking of jobs, and this is what we're speaking of. We've seen development in the streets. We've seen it all night, all day, different place. You can't.
Sir,
you're
you're
running
welcome
into-
to speak on that at the end.
I
of
don't
the-
see
at the end of
jobs
the
for the
meeting.
people here.
Thank
I-
you. Thank you, Sergeant. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Okay, now we are closing. I'm sorry, ma'am. We don't usually clarify. What is the problem? One was pulled. Thank you. No, not PH1. PH1 will be discussed when the item comes up, ma'am. Thank you. So the public comments portion is closed, Madam Clerk, as to 1, CSA1 and H1.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
City Council, Successor Agency, and Housing Authority. Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor, Chairman Pro Tem Morales.
Aye. Madam Clerk, what is the next scheduled matter?
Can we recess the Inglewood Successor Agency and Housing Authority?
Yes, recess the Inglewood Finance Authority. Recess the Inglewood Successor Agency and the Inglewood Housing Authority.
Thank you. The next scheduled matter is a public hearing to consider the ordinance amending the Inglewood Municipal Code to establish permit parking district number 17, which includes the following: 99th Street between La Brea Avenue and Myrtle Avenue, 98th Street between La Brea Avenue and Myrtle Avenue, and 97th Street between La Brea and Myrtle Avenue.
Has the notice of this hearing been given in the time, form, and manner as required by law, and do you have the affidavit on file?
Notice has been given, and affidavit is on file.
Have any communications been received on this matter?
No communications have been received.
Is there a staff report on this matter?
Yes, Mr. Lewis Atwell, Public Works Director, will give the staff report.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Pro Tem, and City Council. Staff recommends that a public hearing be conducted to consider an ordinance amending the Inglewood Municipal Code to create permit parking district number 17, which consists of the following streets: 97th, 98th, and 99th between La Brea Avenue and Myrtle Avenue. The establishment of a permit parking district is to assure the availability of street parking within a residential neighborhood where the patrons and/or employees of a nearby commercial or industrial facility are otherwise using available on-street parking. The lack of adequate on-street parking in this instance is attributed to the commercial parking overflow from La Brea Avenue to the adjacent residential streets previously listed. An ordinance amending the Inglewood Municipal Code is to establish permit parking district number 17 is authorized when compliance with the procedures and criteria set forth in IMC section 3-76, which in this case it has been, under resolution number 17-04, which was adopted by the Parking and Traffic Commission on June 28th, 2017. And that concludes my presentation.
File the staff report. Are there any persons present who wish to address the council on this matter?
Hi, good afternoon. I have been a resident and owner on 98th Street between La Brea and Myrtle for over 25 years. And as you know, 98th Street is divided. There's La Brea to Larch, and then Larch to Myrtle. And I live above Larch. I say that because I want to say that the auto shop at the corner of La Brea and 98th has for years used residential street parking to park their cars. As recently as September 7th, I was I was pulling out of my driveway and I stopped. I saw two guys park cars, and then one got out and started skateboarding down the street. I followed very slowly because I just wanted to see what was going on, and in fact, they did turn into the auto shop. As you know, there is parking restrictions on Thursdays and Fridays, 8 to 3, and often they don't honor that. They start parking their cars even earlier so that they can get spots. They park in the center where there could be two cars, and then later they pull forward so they can pull in another car.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name's Dabby. I live on 97th Street. We've been there for about a good 20, 25 years, 30 years. I'm against the parking permits, and I think if this meeting would have been scheduled later on in the evening, we would have had more neighbors come and also agree that we're against it. As far as 97th Street between La Brea and Myrtle, the competition is basically between us, the neighbors. We don't have issues with the surrounding businesses around us. We used to. We pretty much have that under control. We have an agreement with the businesses. They don't get in our parkings. We have an agreement. Everything's under control. I don't see the purpose of this permit. It really is not going to change anything as far as what's going on 97th Street. It's still going to be between neighbors, and now we're going to have to be paying out of pocket. And I'm not sure how everything works because we didn't get anything saying that whether it passed or it didn't pass. And when I called, I asked if I can get signatures from neighbors who also agree with what I'm saying. They just couldn't come. It was short notice. It was less than 2 weeks notice when we got on the 30th of August. So
Thank you.
that's it.
Hi, good afternoon. I also live on 98th, and I am for the parking permit because we do have an issue on 98th Street. We have the mechanic, which the lady mentioned. We do have a body shop, and over here in Myrtle, we have a so-called mechanic that has sometimes up to 10 to 15 cars parked all along the street. And what he does, and there's a big truck that has no license plates, expired license plates, and that's what they do. They go, they park for the whole week, and they park other cars, and they just switch them. Like, it's really just ridiculous right there on 98th. Maybe it's not on the other streets, but we do have a problem on 98th between Myrtle and La Brea. Thank you.
Okay. Public comment portion is, go ahead, Mr. H.
My name is Willie A.G. This is what I like about this council and the city. They always get ahead of things, you know? Before all the traffic and stuff really gets bad here in this city. I think you're doing exactly the right thing. I support this PH1 100%, and I think the citizens in that area will be really happy about it, and you know, I support it, and I hope this council supports it. Thank you very much.
Council members, you heard several of the neighbors say that they wish you had this meeting where they had more time to speak and they had more time to get their neighbors. I'm not sure what the big rush is to accomplish this. Clearly, this is genuinely not about the stadium, nor is it about the Clippers. This is about the current ongoing situation that someone believes is a problem. So I think that, well, that was foolish. It would be realistic if you actually held over and let them discuss it, and we all know that's a joke because you're going to do as you want to do because that's what you always do. Residents don't matter, and we know it. But I'm going to vocalize it anyway.
Okay, so, public comment portion is, come on up, miss.
I just have a question. I live on 97th Street. The letter said that it doesn't guarantee, if we buy the parking permit, I thought I will be able to park on my street, but it doesn't guarantee me a parking space on my street. Where am I going to park? Can
No,
I park at 98 or 90?
Ma'am, the theory, and I'll let Mr. Atwell answer it, but the theory is that with a permit, there's only a certain number of permits per household, and it reaches the level of the space on the street. So in theory, everybody should have a space. Did you want to add something, Mr. Atwell?
Sure. The maximum number of passes is 4 per household. And typically what happens is it allows people that reside on that street to park either in front of their home or near their home. But there's no guarantee, but it's much better than what it is right now.
Okay, thank you.
Al Davis, Second District again. Just food for thought. I was up in Santa Monica yesterday at some dear friends' house. They were helped me celebrate my birthday, and they already have that there. And number 4 is seems like a large number, but it's okay, because really what this is for, I don't think permits are for punishing anybody. Basically, for lack of a better term, policing a situation. If you have 6 cars in your family, why do you? You know, do you have a good reason? And if you have a good reason, you shouldn't mind paying whatever the fee is going to be a year. I believe in Santa Monica, it's $65 per automobile. And it is what it is. We live in a society where, yeah, we still have too many cars.
Thank you,
All
sir.
right.
Come on up.
With the permits, I just think 4 cars is a lot. My neighbor got about 9, and he got about 40 people living back there, and they got about 9 cars, and they usually double park, so everybody of their family can have parking. And half of those cars don't work. They can only go back and forth, save each other's parking. They start their cars up at 5, 6 in the morning, so I think 4 cars is way too much. And I live on 98. I bought a 2-bedroom house for over $400,000 for some reason. And they destroyed the street before I got there. When I got there, the street was nice, and they made about 40 holes and 40 pop holes, and they still haven't fixed them.
Okay, so now public comment portion is closed. Before we do a recommendation, we'll motion to waive for the reading.
Move.
Second.
Alderman.
Madam Clerk, if we could just pass that first. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Aye.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Morales.
Aye. And are there any council comments before I make
Well,
my
who would introduce?
I'll introduce.
No, wait a minute,
Thank
we're
you.
gonna be in a
Do
comment.
we have to adopt first, or is just introduction?
No, you have to introduce.
Okay, I'll introduce.
Well, no,
But please make a comment. Go ahead.
Okay, I thought we would comment before we do the introduction.
We could, and
Yeah.
we could comment
Okay.
after as well.
Because I heard a couple of residents had mixed emotions about I clearly understand that, sir. But I clearly want to identify that there was a couple individuals that raised an area of concern in opposition. But I want to rely on the staff report we received regarding the Planning Commission meeting, Parking and Enforcement Commission meeting, that residents submitted a petition, that there were 62 residents that voted saying that either yes or no on wanting this parking permit. 49 of them said, yes, we do, and 13 said they didn't. So the majority has spoken saying they wanted this permit. So I just want to make sure that was publicly on the record. And thank you, Mayor.
Anything else, Ms. Padilla?
You know, none of these are done like last minute. There's a process that has to be done. It starts off with getting 75% of the signatures of the residents impacted by this parking permit process. Then it goes in front of the Parking and Traffic Commission, and according to the staff report, this one was adopted by the Parking and Traffic Commission back on June 28th, 2017. So these aren't overnight. Residents receive letters letting them know that this is going to be happening. And as Councilman Franklin mentioned, letters are sent and folks send back in whether they want it or not. And so we go based on the recommendation of our Parking and Traffic Commission. So I just want to make sure folks know this is not a overnight process. There is some time and some thought given to this. Thank you.
Okay, and I will make my comments now. This is actually my area, the other side of La Brea. We have 99th, 98th, and 97th. This is not the first time I've actually spoken to residents. Going back a couple of years, some residents approached me. It might have been some of the ones that were here, I don't know. But they approached me and they had the same need for these permits. They requested them back then because of the local businesses taking up so much of the parking. And it has become a nuisance for them, as well as, like all over Inglewood, there's a lack of parking. In my neighborhood, there's a lack of parking. I know there's a lack of parking everywhere. So many of us, I go back to when my family, when there was 4 of us adult children living there, driving, and then each my parents a car. I mean, we must have really ticked off our neighbors, I tell you. But those are things that happen because of our growth, and we have to manage them as best we can. You want to expect our neighbors to be good neighbors. You know, let the senior citizens park right in front of their home. You want to expect that. Unfortunately, not everybody thinks that way. And some of these businesses, they really do take advantage of the neighbors. The neighbors because they're nice, the neighbors because they don't say anything. So to a certain degree, it comes down to us. And so we sent out this ballot. Was it a ballot, Mr. Atwell? And we received 49 out of 62 responses that wanted permits. It's something that had been requested going back years. Okay, 4 is still a generous amount of permits per household. So I hope that this goes a long way in helping it resolve the issue. You know, that's why we introduced this ordinance. So I wanted to know, is there anybody that did not understand, would like me to say that in Spanish, that is here for that item? ¿Quisiera alguien la explicación en español? Okay, so esta acción se tomó para los permisos de estacionamiento en las calles del 98, 99 y 97 dentro de La Brea y la Myrtle Avenue. Es para permisos. Cada casa tendrá la oportunidad de tener 4 permisos para 4 carros. Es algo que algunos de los comentarios se hicieron para que la mayoría están a favores. La gente que votó eran 49 que sí y 12 creo que no. No, 13 que no. 13 que no. So, nosotros votamos en favor de los permisos. So, ustedes van a recibir notificaciones de que les van a llegar cómo recibir su sus permisos. Cada quien va a tener la oportunidad de recibir 4 permisos para 4 vehículos en su calle. ¿Ok? A usted. If it's an official back address, I believe that they will receive the same amount. Or per household, period. Per year. So, sí, si es un domicilio oficial, if it's an official address, an authorized residence, then yes. They will also be receiving it as a household. Well, that's a good question, and I'll tell you, we will not take questions from the audience, but I'm going to go ahead and have the staff answer that because I believe you do need to know that, and then we'll have to manage it as best we can. Mr. Atwell?
Yeah, right now, the municipal code doesn't address that, but there is just 4 per household or
Okay.
residence or address.
Can I ask you something? The scenario that this gentleman has focused on, will they just receive for that household, the original front household?
If it's an official residence, like it has its own address, they get 4. If there's another unit in the back and it's a separate address which is recognized,
It's not mentioned in our municipal code?
no, it doesn't break.
So we will respond to that. We're gonna look into how that gets addressed. So it could be either way. Let us come back and address that. Is that? Sir, if I could just, I can't let this meeting get out of hand. We've approved the permits. We realize that. I would love to speak to you afterwards and we'll address that question, okay? If you can. Thank you. So we'll do that, and we'll address that. Well, we're gonna discuss it, and we'll address it afterwards. But when can we, Mr. Atwell, Mr. City Attorney, do you think we should follow up on that in a separate item? Okay, you'll be notified the same way you were notified about this. Okay? Después de la junta, señora. Después de la junta. Okay? Thank you very much. So that's it for that item. Consent calendar. Items 2.
Great.
Yes, we did.
We did. Yes, we did.
Items 2 through 8.
So moved.
Madam Clerk?
Council members Dodson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Morales.
Aye. SPH 1.
Staff report requesting that a public hearing be set to consider zoning code amendments, Amendment 2017-01 to Chapter 12 of the Inglewood Municipal Code to modify marijuana and cannabis regulations.
Set the public hearing for September 26, 2017 at 2 p.m. A1.
of Inglewood. The negotiator for the city of Inglewood is Artie Fields. The negotiator for the other party was Young G. Park, Nayrock Property Development, Inc. As to that item, there's a discussion was held and a request for a motion to terminate the memorandum of understanding agreement number 16-262 dated 9/13/16 with Nayrock.
Madam Clerk?
Council members Dodson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Morales.
Aye. We will recess the Inglewood Council and reconvene the Inglewood Successor Agency.
A quorum is present.
CA2,
Approval,
A2, I'm sorry.
that's okay. Approval of the minutes for the successor agency meeting held on June 27th, 2017, June 18th, and June 21st, 2017.
And then
Those
we'll be
moved.
Just to clarify, Madam Clerk, you said June, it's July 18th and July 21st.
That's correct. July 18th and July 21st.
So moved.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Successor agency members, Dodson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Chairman Pro Tem Morales.
Aye. Now we'll adjourn the Inglewood Successor Agency and reconvene the Inglewood Housing Authority.
A quorum is present.
H2,
Approval of the minutes for the Housing Authority meeting held on June 27th, July 18th, 2017.
Move approval. Second.
Madam Clerk.
Housing Authority members, Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Chairman Pro Tem Morales.
Aye. H3,
Staff report recommending authorization be given to Executive Director of the Inglewood Housing Authority to sign the Phase 2 Memorandum of Understanding with the South Bay Workforce Investment Board for resource sharing and joint infrastructure costs funding in connection to the One Stop Business and Career Center.
Move authorize.
second, Madam Clerk.
Authority, Inglewood Housing Authority members, Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Chairman Pro Tem Morales.
Aye. Adjourn the Inglewood Housing Authority, reconvene the Inglewood Finance Authority.
A quorum is present.
F1,
Approval of the minutes for Finance Authority meeting held on July 18th, 2017.
approval.
Second.
Madam Clerk.
Finance Authority members, Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Chairman Pro Tem Morales.
Aye. Adjourn the Inglewood Finance Authority, reconvene the Inglewood City Council.
A quorum is present.
Public comments regarding other matters?
P1,
P1.
P1.
Parking Authority.
No,
I thought
that
it
was
was
pulled. That's pulled.
Okay.
Public comments regarding other matters.
Hello again. My name is Krishan. I'm the youth organizer for the Uplift Inglewood Coalition. I'm talking to you all today about the jobs. So we agreed that good paying jobs are a priority for our community. However, the Clippers in the city have not answered how many jobs this arena will produce. The land was acquired initially under the promise of a new business technology park. This would have brought the aspirational jobs our community needs. Then the mayor and the city council made a backroom deal with the billionaire owner of the Clippers to build another arena. They threatened to take people's homes, businesses, and churches through eminent domain, displacing longtime residents and their place of worship in our city. We pushed back, and that was taken off the table, but businesses are still at risk. Now, they are trying to fast-track the building of this arena, but we haven't seen any plans for the building. We also haven't been told how many jobs the arena would produce, and whether these construction jobs are going to go to the Inglewood residents first. After the construction, we know that the only jobs available will be part-time, minimum wage jobs that will leave more of our residents struggling to pay their bills. We are not anti-development.
Thank you very much.
Council Parker Jr., Vietnam veteran, 66-67, also a conscious objector. 5 years or better, I've been screaming at you about what the VA is doing to veterans. You have a gold mine out here at the veterans over there on Henley. Just to show you, you need to read, because see, the Constitution works. Don't ever let anybody tell you it doesn't. Spy allegations upset allies. I told you a long time ago that the United States was taken before the International Criminal Court at The Hague for the third terrorist nation in the world. Just recently, today or yesterday, VA Hospital in Memphis here, House of Horrors. All these VA hospitals operate individually. You can get one drug for one thing, same illness, and go somewhere else and get another. They're killing veterans. They're holding your money, and they're killing your mission accomplished. That's their only goal. Delay, deny, until you die. And all of you guys in this ethics court, kangaroo court you're violating your security clearance, national and domestic, if you're dealing outside the country. This is treason.
Thank you, sir.
All
Thank you,
involved
sir.
in treason.
Sergeant.
You're violating the Constitution.
Michael with Uplift Inglewood. I want to say that we are not anti-growth for the black and brown community. I am a alumni of Morningside High School, grew up in Inglewood, My family lives in Inglewood. I still remember going to Inglewood Christian School. I still remember walking down the street 104th, going to school, the Morningside. My auntie lives right around the corner from, Faithful Central? What's that church on Crenshaw? First Church. There it goes. First Church. Right around the corner from the school. I say all that to say my family and myself are deep-rooted in Inglewood. We are residents long-term, and we are not for Senator Bradford or anyone else expediting the transportation project for the 2028 Olympics. We are also not, we believe Inglewood needs to put building homes and creating open spaces
sir.
before arenas. We're standing with Uplift Inglewood
Sir,
because we cannot
thank you so
stand
much.
by while backroom deals.
Sir. With all due respect, sir, everybody gets a minute. I'm sorry. You can come back the next time. Come back the next time. Your minute is up. Thank you.
Council, my name is Jim Vaughn. I'm out of the second district. I've got to say some things here. I've heard some facts and figures come out today in this meeting about how there's not going to be new housing. There's no open recreation. If they've been around since the proposal, first off, the stadium, and looking at the new park we're going to get, and the fact we're going to get a bunch of new houses built there. We're taking the old Daniel Freeman Hospital. There's new housing coming in there. And the jobs, they say there's not going to be jobs after the forum is built. There's new businesses coming in here. That's going to be moved into Hollywood Park. They're going to be hiring people. Unemployment, if I remember right, last article I was saying unemployment is down in Inglewood. It's the lowest it's been in years. And that's all I've got to say.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Renald Davis, second district again. Going in a direction involves growth. How many jobs it's going to take to build these projects? It's going to be in the thousands, but yeah, it's obvious. Once it's built, the cement gets hard, those jobs move on. But the people who built it, they still keep their skills. This is a big country. Have you noticed? We got a lot of rebuilding to do. And so maybe your destiny isn't to stay here. I'm from Northern California. I fell in love with aerospace when I was a young man. I moved from Northern California to follow my dream. Why don't you guys do the same thing? It's a big world. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kathy with Uplift Inglewood, and again, want to speak about opposing SB 789. That bill would bypass California's landmark environmental law, the CEQA, in order to build another arena in Inglewood. Our coalition is residents, businesses, faith groups, local organizations, all trying to ensure that our vision of Inglewood's future will include and benefit everyone here and not just private developers and people that have billionaires on their boards. The coalition welcomes equitable and sustainable community development that addresses the need for more secure housing and environmental justice. According to the negotiating agreement between the Clippers and the Inglewood City Council, there's a 20-acre parcel of Inglewood land occupied by a variety of businesses
Thank you, ma'am.
and residences. We really don't want that.
Thank you, ma'am.
Inequity than the fact that you let somebody make a presentation up here for as long as they like, but you're unwilling to listen to residents speak more than 1 minute. Apparently, nobody here wants to acknowledge there's a difference between affordable housing and market rate housing. But I have to ask, Why does the 21st richest man in the entire world need you to drive the price down for what he has to pay residents for their homes? Because he could probably offer them 50 times what they asked and not even have a dent in his pocketbook. But he asked you and Bradford to drive that price down so he could get richer at their expense. And of course, what are you looking for? Season tickets?
Are there any more public comments?
Curtis Mitchell, First District. I want to say hello to staff. I know our mayor is out doing a fantastic job on our behalf, and I want to say to our audience, which we're not allowed to speak to, but I do know we have a beautiful Adobe Theater here in our city. We never get to hear about it. I know someone is supposed to be representing that, but I do know our kids have been talking about it. I'd like to take time to give some blessings to the ones that have lost their possessions and lives in Houston and, of course, over in Miami. And when I look around Inglewood, I'm very proud of our city, and you guys just keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Public comment portion is closed. Is there any council oh, Mr. Agee.
My name is Willie A.G., and you know where I live. As far as jobs is concerned, nobody's guaranteed to live in one spot for 100 years. Sometimes you have to move from one place to another in order to secure jobs. You know, this country right now is on the verge of redoing the whole country. You know, there's going to be more jobs out there than you have people to do. But you have to go to the jobs. The jobs is not going to come to you. This Clipper thing is going to be a success here in Inglewood. I can guarantee you that. But the people that live here have to qualify to do the work. You can't get them qualified unless they have education. Our education in the city of Inglewood need to improve big time. Thank you very much.
Now, public comment portion is closed. Are there any council comments? Mr. Dotson?
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank everybody that came out to my shredding event this past Saturday. It was a very good event. Some of you who came out, you know that. Those of you who did not come out, next year when we do it, later on this year we do it again, make sure you put it on your calendar. You can get a chance to shred your important papers and watch them do it. And you can also have a cup of coffee or a donut with me while we do that. I want to congratulate my colleague, Councilman Padilla, for his D2 picnic. It was very enjoyable, very well attended. The chili was good. Had too many people competing in the contest, though. I only got halfway down the line, and I was full. But it was really a wonderful event, and congratulations, Councilman, on that. I want to thank the people of the 77th Street Block Club. They invited me out the same Saturday. Now, all this was all on one Saturday for me, for their block party. 77th Street is, I want to thank them because it was really one of the block clubs that I helped start when I first got on the council. And they're going very, very well. And I want to congratulate them on their years of service and their wonderful block party that they have every year. And I'd like to touch on, before I turn the mic over to my colleague, Inglewood is growing. And that's something that once it starts, it takes on a life of its own. It's a wonderful thing because I've been here in Inglewood for 40 years. I've seen Inglewood go through a lot of changes. Inglewood hit pretty much the bottom when the real estate boom came along. And before the election of Mayor Butts and this council, we really had a problem here in Inglewood. There was a chance that we might not make it. So I don't care what nobody tells you. We always got people in here who's going to be naysayers no matter what. It's never going to be right. It's never going to be good enough. It's never going to be what they want. But let me tell you, 40+ years have taught me that where we are now is in one of the best places I ever dreamed we would be. Your property value alone takes you to the very top. One more second. So I want to just tell you that don't listen to all this hype. Think for yourself. Go out and check it out, what I'm telling you. With that, have a great day.
Councilman Padilla.
Thank you, and I'm probably gonna go for my 3 minutes, so I'm asking now.
We're shutting you down after 3 minutes. Electricity.
Look, there's
You
a
don't
lot
get
to-
my time either.
There's a lot to go over, and first off, let me start off by saying thank you. A huge thank you to the community that came out Saturday to my 4th annual District 2 picnic and chili cook-off. It was a standing room only crowd. It was a great opportunity for folks to come together, to break bread, and to talk about all the positive things happening in the city of Inglewood. We have so many good things happening. This city is on the move, and it's on the move because we have strong leadership, staff, and a community that supports the direction that we're traveling as a city. People now want to be a part of the success that we have here. Each one of us, when we travel, when we go to meetings, to events, folks always want to know, how'd you do it? I mean, my God, 5 years ago, we were on the brink of bankruptcy. Things weren't looking good. Where were all the folks then? Folks were bailing out. Inglewood's done. Folks told us, why are you going to do the forum? Ain't nobody going to come. Nobody's going to come to the forum to watch a concert. But guess what? It's the #1 concert venue site in the state. It's got the best draw of performers. All of them want to come and perform at the forum. For those that have gone there to watch a performance, you know why. Acoustically, awesome. It's the best place to go to listen to your band play. We disproved people. When the Rams were coming, we were all, hey man, you guys are being used. Ain't nobody gonna build a stadium in Inglewood. Come on, folks, wake up. That's what they were telling us. We disproved them. Now you have 2 NFL teams coming and a state-of-the-art stadium and the development of Hollywood Park to go with it. These folks, you're right. They're putting their money where their mouth is. They're walking the walk and talking the talk. Then you look at Daniel Freeman's site. Hey, man, that thing, nobody was sure was going to happen there for a while. Now what? Now we have over 200 homes coming there. Folks talked about jobs. Well, guess what? In the last few years, our jobless rate in Inglewood, I'm not talking about nowhere else, in Inglewood was 27.5% unemployment rate. It is now, today, 5.5%. Why? Because we have opportunities for jobs here in Inglewood. When we worked, I need another minute. When we worked to bring on the developments here in Inglewood, we do local hire. Why? Because we want Inglewood residents to get jobs here. We have FedEx coming to Inglewood across from Rogers Park. What are they going to be doing? A local hire job recruitment for Inglewood residents. We're getting jobs for Inglewood residents. So folks, if you're looking for work, Inglewood's the place to get it. Inglewood's the place to provide for your families, to pay for that roof over your head, to put food in your stomach, to help the economy of Inglewood move forward. This economy is booming. but it's just not going to happen overnight. It happens because you have leadership, you've elected us to make those tough choices, and quite frankly, they're not tough. They're easy choices to move the city of Inglewood forward, to continue to make it the city of champions. So,
He's not through.
all right, that's fine. No, we
Councilman
got a lot
Franklin?
to go over, folks.
4 minutes.
It ain't over.
I know, you could talk for a little while. Go
Yes,
ahead.
I could.
Go ahead, Councilman Franklin.
You're not getting my minutes this time.
Go ahead.
First of all, let me thank everyone that was able to attend the District 4 Town Hall meeting we had on Wednesday with the theme, Making the Investment in Our Present and the Future. I want to thank Mr. Artie Fields, the city manager, for doing an outstanding job addressing the quality of life issues for the city of Inglewood. We had the shopping center owner of the Crenshaw Imperial Plaza give us an update and announcing about the new businesses that have came in town, such as Chipotle, Five Guy Burgers, Planet Fitness, a new, they just announced a new family restaurant, will be Norms coming in. And then also we've been able to keep the post office still remain at that site. So we are making great progress there. Then we also had the introduction with Chris Jackson for the economic development projects. I thank him also for the multiple presentations. In fact, I called him Reverend, which he really is, was able to emphasize the infrastructure that's going on in District 4, as well as the one and only park the city has, which is called Center Park. In fact, Mr. Fields went ahead in detail on that. But Mr. Jackson talked about a empty, vacant lot, which was an old gas station for well over 3 decades. If you know anywhere where Century Boulevard and Yukon is located, that's now going to become a new Arco gas station. We also had the improvement of the environmental charter school has now upgraded their campus that is at Lutheran Church, immediately across the street. So now they have more Inglewood students being able to attend that. There's just a number of economic developments going on. We've also addressed the infrastructure issues. Imperial Highway will be paved from Van Ness on the east to Prairie on the west by the year 2018, which were much needed, and that we're also working on other major areas in the district. Then we also talked about the various PACE programs for residents having options to want to stay in their homes and want to improve their homes for energy efficiency, which has been made available. And I announced 5 different programs that is available by residents within the city, 2 of which focus specifically on Inglewood residents. So you missed a great opportunity. But don't forget, it was televised, and recorded, I should say, and it will be televised at the Inglewood's website on our YouTube, so you'll be able to catch that as well. I also want to recognize that I attended the Century Heights Neighborhood Block Club Street Meeting, and that's exactly what it was. When you came to that block club, it was not a party, it was a meeting. And they wanted to hear from you as the policymakers. They want to hear from the developers in the community, as well as a multitude of things that transpired there as well. And top of that off, my 30 seconds, please. I want to also recognize the Ronald and Rose Washington. Well, we as a city recognize their 50th wedding anniversary at that location. The District 2 park picnic and chili cook-off, I thought it was one of those, it's the early bird that gets the worm, but I found out you come too early, you don't get any food. So, so I got there so early, I might well have started helping them set up. But I understand it was a successful event. And then I would be remiss if I didn't recognize Truro Block Club for their annual outstanding block party and able to socialize with a number of the residents that was there. Truly, it's an ongoing legacy at Truro with the families gathering that has been doing it for years, multi-ethnic groups, and we could clearly remember Mr. Douglas and his outstanding leadership, and it still lingers in his absence. And on that note, we're through. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Franklin. And in closing, I have some comments. As stated, Mayor Bustos is currently in Sacramento working on SB 789. And so many folks caught up here and talked about how 789 provides for a CEQA exemption for the potential Clippers arena. That is completely false. There is a complete CEQA review for the arena. The change would be that the judicial review, the judicial challenges on the CEQA challenges would be a limited time frame. Everything that usually comes with a CEQA process will be included in the arena. There is no exemption whatsoever for that, for the Clippers arena. Now, that currently the Clippers have a lease at the Staples Center until 2024, I believe. So the reason that the timing is important was because it'll take 2 years for the complete EIR, 2 years for the judicial review along with the public comment portion, which will be expanded, and 2 years for the build-out, which puts them right at the time frame that they need. And that's why what happens is on these big projects, if someone with a lot of money decides they don't want that project to happen, they can just sue until they basically kill the project. So what we're saying is limit the time frame when those lawsuits can come into place, and allow if the EIR says the arena is good here for the city, during the public comment portion, it'll be expanded just like it always has been. So I just wanted to clarify that that's the case in regards to the Clippers Arena and SB 789. The mayor has actually been working a lot over there in Sacramento. I had the opportunity to go with him twice. It's definitely a lot of work going back and forth. So I want to appreciate him in his absence. Going for some other items, the Truro Block Club. It's going on 40 years. Amazingly diverse group. Amazingly diverse group. They're a great group. Have an annual picnic on their block club. Councilman Franklin mentioned Mr. Douglas, one of the pioneers really of the block clubs here in the city of Inglewood. We loved him. His family is still there, kind of playing point at the block club parties. We really appreciate them. And then Councilman Padilla, I missed your picnic, but I'm told that there were so many people you didn't notice. So I won't worry about that. But in that spirit, I just want to thank everybody for coming out, and this meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much.